has to be, but make the case. Also, I would like to see a report come back to us whenever the grants are done, so that, as Commissioner Saltzman was saying, have they done what they said they were going to do? What's the good outcomes that have happened? So I request maybe a community presentation at council, because when great things are being done with relatively small amounts of money, it's always good to know about them and to congratulate those who've achieved so much.
I agree.
Thank you. Then, does anyone want to testify on this issue? You can take a seat. We'll
conflict.
Good morning, still.
Good morning. My name is Lightning. I represent Lightning Super Watchdog Ads, independent publication. I'd like her to recuse herself from the vote. I don't think you have enough votes to do this today. I think it's an absolute conflict of interest. If she votes, I think there needs to be a complaint filed today. Moving on. I think it's great that the people are receiving grant money. I don't have anything against any of your organizations and the goals and the missions that you're trying to accomplish. So I want to make that very clear. One issue I do have is on being equitable. When you have 160 applications and $8 million they're requesting, of course some people are going to be left out in organizations. Now I did notice from 1164 back to 1166, you funded African Youth and Community Organization for $27,800 on the 1164, and then you went back to 1166 and you also funded the same organization. Now again, I'm not looking at the organizations through a lens. I think you're outstanding. I have no issues there. I'm looking at this strictly from an equitable, allowing other people to participate when you're talking 160 applications. So again, that is my only dispute. I don't have any other dispute in that direction. Again, on the $50,000 cap, I do agree with. In my opinion, I would like to see, and again, it's nothing against the groups, I always feel comfortable on having the auditors audit. I would like to see the auditors come in and audit these grants, and again, their progress. I feel comfortable to have that independent style audits done. And again, these are special appropriations. Again, as Commissioner Sullivan stated, $1 million plus here. I'm just asking, and you can do an amendment on this, is to have the auditors audit this and have them just do a quick review and go over everything, look at the progress reports and do an analysis. And I wouldn't even mind if it just went to the commissioners. That would be fine. I don't need to see that. I'm just saying audit, look at it, provide the report to the commissioners. I don't even need it from the public. So again, absolutely agree on the direction the groups are going. Keep up the good work. And I'm glad to see you get this funding. Thank you.
Mr. Lightning, the auditor has made it very clear that she's independent, so she doesn't take direction from the council about what to audit and what not to. So you can take that up with her directly.
Well, you could make an amendment, and I'm sure she'd be glad as the auditor to audit this.
But we're not allowed to ask her to do that kind of thing.
Thank you for your time.
Seeing no more testimony, this is a report, so I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
So just to clarify, I have no financial interest in the Independent Publishing Resource Center, nor have I ever, so that is actually not a conflict of interest. And moving on, as we learned in the report, 2017 was the second year of using a formal grant process to allocate these special appropriation funds. And with that new structure, we were pleased to see more momentum and interest in the funds. We had over 160 applications, which is more than double last year. So I'm excited to see who applies as we move forward. There was a wide array of submissions from Fresh Out, who focuses on direct services to the formerly incarcerated, to the Boys and Girls Club of Portland Metro, who advocates for our region's youth. And of course, we would have loved to fund every ask. Getting to the final award list was a challenging job for city staff to review, score, and discuss. each application and narrow down the applicant pool to match our available special appropriation dollars. With that, I want to give thanks to those on the committee, from my team, Polly Ann Burge, from the other commissioners' offices, and I also want to thank Craig Haynes, Sheila Craig, and Melissa Cochran from the Office of Management for overseeing the process. Of course, Michelle Rodriguez from ONI. It was a huge effort in a short period of time. Very pleased to be able to support such great work in our community. Aye. Saltzman?
Well, I think the use of the Special Appropriations Committee, which we've done now for the past 2 years, is a vast improvement over the way we used to do business here in terms of awarding money sort of as a commissioner, really as a pet project or a pet organization. So having a committee process and getting it out of our hands and all the pressures that we're subject to as elected officials is much better. And I really do want to just reiterate, though, that we need to be wary of turning this into a shadow appropriation process that we've labored hard and long to get away from. And I do want to make sure that we are continuing to monitor the outcomes of the organizations and the progress. But good work both to Office of Labor Involvement, Office of Management and Finance. I also want to recognize Tia Williams and of my office for her participation in this process as well. Aye.
I think we have consensus on the council. This is a good way to do things. So that's really showing that Mayor Hales' choice doing this 2 years ago is something that's going to endure. So thank you to both of my colleagues and the two that are not able to be here today. Thanks to Christina and the others on my staff for being my representative. We're going to rotate it so we always have somebody fresh on the committee, and so that I can continue to say well back while the committee does their work. Since Commissioner Udaly declared her particular fondness for the Independent Publishing Resource Centre from 20-some years ago, some of the community, we like all of these community organisations, but some of the ones that I've attended events for are the African Youth and Community Organisation, the Autism Society of Oregon, Bradley Angle, Dress for Success, EOIC, and Rosemary Initiatives in the Vanport Mosaic. And then some of these I have not even heard of at all. So I'm really excited to get that report next year to learn more about all of the good things going on in our community and where a little bit of funding by taxpayers can really bring a lot of benefits for our community. So I'm happy to support it. We do have a request for $350,000 in the fall bump to add back the money that's now going to the Portland United Against Hate. So I expect to hear from the committee their recommendations about whether they're going to reopen the process, choose from those who can get it, give more money to some who did get it. But of course, that all has to wait until we vote on the full budget monitoring process. So with this, I'm happy to vote aye. Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez, for sitting there, because we already did 1165, and so now we're up for 1166.
Portland United Against Hate Special Appropriation.